We did note-taking e-readers and we did styluses, but now it's time for the final top 10 list of 2020. These are the top 10 e-readers of the year. They span all different continents, different makes, different models, and different styles of operating systems. If you want to know what the best one is, stay tuned and let's get going. Number 10, the Bokine Diva HD. Not particularly anything super special, and that's why it lands in at number 10. It has 300 ppi front light, color temperature light, and thousands of French books. Again, it's pretty standard and it doesn't do anything particularly amazing and it doesn't really stand out amongst the crowd, but it does come from a long-standing e-reader company in the industry, and it's also not going to break the bank. It's about $170 USD. Number 9, the Epos 2 by Tolino. This is one of the few e-readers in the world that is not made in China. This is made in Taiwan. It's centered around the German market. It runs an 8-inch screen because it's basically made by Rakuten Kobo in terms of the overall form factor, materials, and the shell. It can also access 4 different bookstores. It is fairly expensive, coming in at $360 USD, and it's really only catered towards the European market, so it doesn't hold much validity outside that area. How the mighty have fallen. We're finally ranking one of the big 3, number 8. Very low down on the list is the Nook Glow Light Plus. It's a 7.8-inch screen, which is rare for Barnes & Noble to go outside of 6 inches for e-readers, not including their tablets. It's ranked low because it's only centered around the USA. That's it. Has a lack of features, it's very limiting overall, it's slow, unresponsive, and the volatility of the company leads to constant discount sales and liquidation sales, upwards of $50 off at times. The reader isn't particularly amazing in any way, but it's from a long-standing company and it's a very innovative company at one point. We hope Barnes & Noble comes back with something a little bit more lively, something that has a little bit more personality in the future. Number 7, the Likebook Mars by Boyu. This device was made in 2018, but it is still viable today. Of course, it can't really break the top 5. It's fast, capable, and has Google Play, but its overall lack of updates, for example, it just received 8.1 by Android, which took almost a year, but we're already at Android 10, so even the latest update has still left it in the dust. It's a little old, played out, and there's not really any physical updates or follow-up version or plus premium version. It's very much the same as it was 2 years ago. Kindle Paperwhite 4 comes in at number 6. It's an alright device, X-Ray is great, it's cheap, and it accesses the largest bookstore in the world. But the upgrades between each individual iteration of Paperwhite, 1, 2, 3, 4, they are marginal, and it's overall just a cookie-cutter e-reader. They have 10 generations going on 11 of e-readers under Amazon's belt, and 4 generations going on 5 of e-readers for the Kindle Paperwhite line, so it can get a little bit confusing as to what device you're actually getting. You have to pay attention to the back of the device's model number to really know exactly what storage size, special offers, LTE, Wi-Fi, etc. that you're actually purchasing, but this can be bought for as low as $139. Number 5, Onyx Books Poke 3. This is the fastest e-reader ever made. It has Google Play, it's the best bang for your buck, and it even has X mode, which means you can watch videos in e-ink. It's also featuring Android 10, which means you can basically download anything. It comes in at $189, but compared to the rest of Onyx's lineup, which is littered with note-taking giants, it feels a little bit small in the hand, and there being no note-taking layer, it is a little bit out of character for Onyx to have such an eco device, but it overall, like we said, is a good bang for your buck and it's a great package. This would not be a list without a pocketbook device on there. Coming in at number 4 is the Pocketbook Color. It was the best-selling color e-reader of the year. It has a great build quality, and it even has a coloring app where you can doodle, use Paint Bucket, and use a capacitive stylus on the screen. However, it was pretty slow. It was running Linux, which means you couldn't really download or sideload in anything. You had a very small selection of preloaded apps, and the design elements don't really differ that much from the rest of the lineup. It's just very much the same. Also, this is the second generation of color and the first generation of color Kaleido, and it's not just there yet. It was a little bit of a letdown this year for the color that came out. Amazon hits the list again with the Oasis 3 coming in at number 3. It is probably the most beautiful e-reader ever built and some of the best materials and build quality you can get. And again, it's accessing that largest bookstore in the world. But it can get expensive, upwards of $400 if purchased in certain markets, and there's so many convoluted models. There's special offers, no special offers, 8 gig, 32 gig, LTE, Wi-Fi, and a combination of all of those. It also comes in a variety of colors, including market-specific gold in the US, etc. And there are constant stock shortages. This year they were plagued with shortages, upwards of 3-month wait time, but you can't deny that this is probably one of the highest quality e-readers made to date. Onyx Books is on the list again with number 2, the Onyx Books Poke 2 Color. It was a great device, all the beauty of the Poke line, but with a color screen. A little bit less of an Android version at Android 9.0, but still very high. Google Play X Mode, which basically means you could watch color videos, which is the first device ever to be able to do that. It is kind of expensive for what it is though. In fact, it's $90 more just for the color layer, and you get a little bit lesser of an Android version, and color still isn't ready. However, e-ink Kaleido is e-ink Kaleido, so it doesn't matter what device you get across the board, but this color screen paired with the amazing quality of what the Poke 2 brings to the table and its amazing capable speeds make this the second best e-reader of the year. Honorable mention, the EReader C6. This was the first e-reader in the world to have color on it, of the second generation, that is. E-ink Kaleido. It was beautiful, it looked great, and it even had a proprietary copper contact point dock that we had no idea what it did, but it looked fantastic. However, the list of cons goes off the chart. There's no functionality with basically anything outside of the Baidu ecosystem because you are completely locked in. You can't install apps, you can't even visit websites. It's completely in Chinese, and it's $300 USD, which means it was amazing that it came out when it did, and it was all the right timing, but the pieces just weren't there, and it didn't make a spot on our list. But it bears mentioning because it did do color first. With almost no cons in sight, number 1 is the Kobo Forma by Kobo Rakuten. It has one of the most amazing bookstores in the world. It has the biggest screen size of the big 3 at 8 inches. It has a great form factor, 2 simple models, 32 or 8 gig, worldwide availability, physical buttons. It's not made in China. It has lots of file formats, and it has a lot of language options because of its international crowd. This device hit all the right marks. It was designed well, it felt well, it performs great for a Linux-based device. Kobo is a long-standing e-reader manufacturer. They've been around for 10 years. They've made basically everything across the board, including tablets. They have a great bookstore, great international presence, and overall the Forma hit every single mark perfectly, making this the best e-reader of 2020. If you disagree with our list, which we hope you do, leave some comments down below and stir up some discussion. We want to hear what device you think should have been number 1 if you disagree with our ranking system. For more great e-reader videos and everything else on e-ink and e-reader related subjects, go over to youtube.com/goodereader and check out thousands of videos at your disposal. For goodereader.com and the top 10 e-readers of 2020, this is Peter.